Ghana Health Service says its focus is to vaccinate a sizable number of the population within the shortest possible time, irrespective of targets set by international bodies.
And in China, about 13 million Xi'an residents in lockdown since December 23 trade for food amid shortage. This is News Hour coming to you live from GBC News and GTV. Good evening, I'm Siyoko Kwakucha. Welcome to the news.
Good evening, I am Shirley and Robert Frimpong Manso will translate the news into sign language. President Akufo-Addo has announced that soon first degree will be the minimum qualification for teachers at the public education system in the country.
To this end, colleges of education have been upgraded to four-year degree awarding institutions, while some of the universities are already offering degree teaching programs. President Akufo-Addo announced this in the Ashanti region at the opening of this year's quadrennial delegates conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. The Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, is affiliated to the Ghana Trades Union Congress, GTUC. Since its establishment more than 90 years ago, NAT has made great strides in pursuing teachers' socio-economic interests, ranging from rural health care, the Teachers Fund, the NAT village at Abankro near Edwisu in the Ashanti region, acquisition of the Ghana-Sweden Medical Center, among other welfare packages for its members. The 6th National Quadrennial Delegates Conference will see the replacement of the current national executives of the association with a new team to manage their affairs till 2026. The outgoing national president, Mrs. Philippa Larson, described the last 4 years as very challenging, but was satisfied with how far her team has brought it, especially with the acquisition of the Ghana-Sweden Medical Center for the association. Solidarity messages by the Gambia Teachers Union and the GTUC, read by the Secretary General, Dr. Anthony Yauba, was optimistic that life after 90 would see NAT becoming more vibrant and more relevant in pursuing the social and economic interest of its members. The Minister for Education, Dr. Osei Yao Educhum, noted that government is undertaking expansive reforms at the pre-tertiary educational level to make the sector responsive to the changing needs of the time.
The Promise Keeper President also said that technical vocational education and training should be part of the mainstream of society. The Promise Keeper President also said technical universities must have all the equipment they need. And today you visit Cape Coast Technical University and see a two-story science and engineering block with all the best of equipment the world has to offer engineering.
The president disclosed that as part of the educational sector reforms, first degree will soon become the basic qualification for the employment of new teachers into the public system.
At the start of the 2018-2019 academic year, all colleges of education were upgraded to university colleges. A four-year Bachelor of Education B.Ed degree has been introduced in the University College of Education. This means that soon, a first degree will be the minimum requirement for teaching at any level of the education system. Moreover, in September 2018, government rolled out the teacher licensure program aimed at improving professional standards in line with best practices across the world. The aim of the teacher reform program is to enhance capacity and improve the quality of teacher training to enable teachers respond to educational needs.
The Ministry of Education has begun distributing food items to all senior high schools across the country ahead of the reopening of schools this week. The supplies are in response to demands by the heads of schools at a meeting with the sector minister Dr. Yao Osei Edichuminakwa, making a presentation at the T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. A deputy minister for education, Reverend Stephen Forjo, said the step is timely as it would help meet the food requirement for the term. Inadequate supply of food items by the Ministry of Education to senior high schools has been identified as a major cause of violent behavior by students who often complain of shortage of food supply by the buffer stock. Academic program is mostly affected. While parents blame government for the challenge, students also see school authorities as the cause. The situation leads to instability on the campuses. It is to forestall this that the government has decided to stock all senior high schools with adequate food ahead of the reopening of the schools. A deputy minister for education, Reverend Stephen Forjo, says he expects uninterrupted academic program this term.
The president is poised in making sure that the last pesewa is expended on the last child to ensure that quality education, particularly at the second cycle level, is not compromised, and that food supply is done adequately, timeously, and in the right quality, right quantities at all times.
The assistant headmaster of the T.I. Ahmadiyya Senior High School, Mr. Ahmed Boating, was grateful. He promised that the school management would, on their part, do well to provide the students with quality food.
An employee's work outputs and efficiency, otherwise known as productivity, depend on a number of factors: the work environment, otherwise called ergonomics, suitability for the job, the employee's personal habit issues at home, the attitude of leadership at the workplace, and so on. In an earlier interview, a human resource consultant, Mr. Andy Osei Okra, encouraged managers to set the right examples for employees to emulate.
Everything boils down to attitude, as indicated earlier on. Everything is attitude. Your attitude determines your altitude. So, if attitude actually is the one going to drive all these inputs to get the output, then we need to get it right. So what is the attitude of the top management? Leadership is working example. Leadership action, like in our homes, you see that our children actually mimic what they see our parents or they see parents do, is what they do. And that's exactly what happened at workplace. What they see leaders doing at workplace, this is what they do. For instance, let's take one critical resource, which is time and punctuality as a major source. If you think that leadership, you are the top, and because of that, you have every right to come to work late, then that is what is going to cascade down to your employees or other direct reports.
You're still watching News Hour Live on GBC News, your news and governance channel. The Ghana Police Service has arrested a man who went viral after firing an assault rifle into the air at the ANC Mall at East Legon on December 31, 2021 to welcome the new year, 2022. He has been identified as Flight Sergeant Nicholas Owusu Frimpong. A statement from the police indicates that a statement from the police indicates that the arrest was carried out in collaboration with the military police. According to the statement, the suspect, Flight Sergeant Nicholas Owusu, is being detained by the military police whilst investigations continue. In an earlier interview, a security analyst, Dr. Adam Bona, charged the military to release the detained officer to the police for prosecution to commence.
I must say that it is despicable. It tells you how serious and deplorable our security situation could degenerate into one day, because then you have all these boys who are holding assault rifles, walking around and welcoming, a certain day by firing bullets into the air with impunity. And the military, you are told, is keeping him. He's committed a crime. the military don't have prosecutorial powers. So they should release him to the police for investigations to commence. By now, they should have presented him to court and get him remanded while investigations are continuing. Now, keeping him with the military, what is the guarantee that he's in the custody of the military? I mean, these are questions I'm about to ask. I think you have hoodlums like this who are parading around with firearms. Now you don't know who is holding a weapon and what type of weapon, and you know, the state of mind of the person. You should be worried.
On the outlook of Parliament this year, the first Deputy Minority Whip, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, is hopeful for mutual respect and dialogue from both sides in the next session, which begins on January 18, 2022. He said the minority group remains resolute in their stance to reject the e-levy until it is revised.
Now, because we have a very strong Parliament, you see that people are not on the street, but the opposition is in Parliament. So government should not think that it's only the 137 MPs in Parliament who are opposed to it. We are acting based on the promptings from the fallout from the 275 Council, including even MP. When they went for caucus meetings, some even chastised the finance and the road minister. If we pass this bill in its current form and give to Ken Oforata, he will collapse the rest of the business moguls in this country. That types of transfer covered by e-levy. Any other mode determined by the Minister of Finance in writing. From 18th to December is a new session of new year of Parliament. So once we are coming, they are bringing a new bill, and the bill, new levy bill that they are bringing should be a bill that Ghanaians have been widely consulted. If they want peace, we are for peace. Let's engage, let's dialogue, let's give us our reasons for opposing it.
As Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Babin's absence from voting on the controversial e-levy bill on Tuesday, December 21, 2021, raised concerns, especially from the majority side, who said it was part of a plan to frustrate business of the House. However, on GTV Breakfast on Tuesday, January 4, 2022, the first Deputy Minority Whip, Mr. Ibrahim Ahmed, explained that Mr. Babin left for Dubai on medical grounds, and this was communicated to both sides of the House.
The Speaker went on medical leave in Dubai, which was known to both of us. And it was not only the Speaker who was due to go on the medical leave. The Speaker was to go to the medical leave with the majority leader. And we knew the two were to go to Dubai on the sick leave. But because of that press conference that the majority leader and his team did, oh, we'll come with our Speaker and we'll reinstate the budget. So he even had to defer his own medical decision. But the Speaker went. So on Tuesday 30th, they came with the first Deputy Speaker. And when they came with the first Deputy Speaker, they reinstated the rejected budget.
January 4 is celebrated by the United Nations and its member countries as World Braille Day. The day, adopted in 2019, is marked to create awareness of the importance of Braille as a means of communication in the full realization of human rights for the blind and visually impaired persons. As joins the rest of the world to mark the day, the news team spent the day with a radio presenter at the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation GBC, Selassie Sikanku. He walks us through the ups and downs as a visually impaired and how he managed to break the odds to establish himself in the professional world.
Selassie Sikanku was born visually impaired. At the initial stages, his parents, just like any other in a similar situation, tried various means to make him see like any other child.
Well, they were devastated, they were worried and all that, so they started taking me from one hospital to the other. Then they were living in Germany, so they went back to Germany to find out whether, they can find a solution. But you know what happened? They went to a church called Ethereum Mission, and then when they got there, you know, the pastor didn't say somebody is jujuing you, somebody is doing that. You know what he told them? He told them they should relax. But Selassie will see in the way, not in the way people want him to see, but in the way God wants him to see.
When he was 4 years, he got admission at Little Flower Montessori School in Jowolo.
The teachers did more of explanation, so I was able to understand. And then even if he writes something on the board, because they know they have a blind person or a visually impaired person, they explain. Also, when it comes to mathematics, you know, we had a resource person who transcribed what we write from print to Braille and from Braille to print. So when it comes to mathematics, that one they need to do a lot of writing in the board. So he sits by me in the class and then explain to me. And that was done you know, in collaboration with the Special Education Division.
After several challenges getting admission into a primary school, he finally enrolled at the Youngsters Integrated School before continuing to Equiapim Senior High School and later to the University of Ghana. All throughout, Selassie made use of the Braille and other applications on his mobile phone and computers to make his work easier.
Formerly, we're using only Braille. So if I want to send you a message or I want to write something to you, you can't read because it's Braille. And then when you also write something to me, I can't read because it's print. But now I can send you an email using my phone or my laptop. I can send you a text message using my phone or my laptop via assistive technology. You know, the assistive technology is where you have a speech software or a hearing software. Maybe the person is having a hearing impairment, but a speech software in our case, and it tells you whatever you are doing. One of our colleagues here, Agatha, writing Happy New Year to everybody, so I'm going to like it. Okay, so I've liked it. I can go to WhatsApp.
Selassie says with the availability of the assistive technology, parents should be able to help their children get to the highest level in education.
I think when parents have children with special needs, they should take care of them like how they take care of the other children. They should push them to school to the highest level. Even if they want to do their PhD, their masters, why not? Push them to those levels. Get people who encourage you, encourage yourself, and take them to school so that they can reach their highest level and then they do what God wants them to do.
To those with visual impairment, Selassie encourages them to accept the challenge, be resolute, and persist to achieve their goal.
An Accra Circuit Court has ordered prosecution to produce the suspects alleged to be involved in the chieftaincy clashes at Boko by Thursday, January 7, 2022. The suspects, Isahar Kubaki and 11 others, were to appear before court today, Tuesday, January 4, 2022. However, prosecution led by Assistant State Attorney Mr. Frederick Edujemfi told the court that they could not produce the suspect due to circumstances beyond their control. According to prosecution, the Attorney General has not been served with any bail application for the 12 suspects. He said steps are being taken to ensure that the orders of the court are complied with. Meanwhile, counsel for the suspects, led by Mr. Martin Pebu, explained to the court that he and the court bailiff sent a copy of the bail application to the police, and since the police received it, it presupposed that the office of the Attorney General has also received it. He pleaded with the court to grant the suspects bail since they have been in police custody for more than 48 hours required by law. Lawyer Martin Pebu spoke to the media after the court proceedings.
You see, the Attorney General has not been able to explain why they've not brought our clients. And this makes it a very sad commentary because, look, for the record, these suspects were arrested 8 days ago on the 28th of December. 8 days ago. That was last Tuesday. And for 8 days on, you failed to bring them to court when the Constitution makes it clear in Article 14(3) that suspects or accused persons must be brought to court within 48 hours of arrest. I know even apart from the Constitution, we went to court in Table number 4, verse Attorney General number 4. The Supreme Court said that 48 hours starts counting. Whether it's a holiday, whether it's a weekend, whether the courts are on strike, workers in the courts are on strike or not, 48 hours is 48 hours. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, 8 days on, the state has refused to bring these accused persons to court.
A leader from the royal family of Mamprusi, Bugri Abdullahi Bewa, was not happy about the continuous detention of the suspects.
They were kidnapped. Till we know that they kidnapped them and raised our voice, the soldiers were going to kill them at the military barracks at Boku. We told them we know that they kidnapped our elders before they brought them to Bolga. They hand them to the police. The police could not do anything with them. They could not take them to court, no anything, no charge. First day they brought them to Accra. We went to Accra. We came to Accra to release our people, take them to court. You say no bail. Take them to court. You will not take them to court. This court that we came, it's not the police that brought it here. We came to the court. Today to bring them. The police will bring them. The court ordered them to bring them today too. They said no, they are not bringing them.
The 12 suspects are on a provisional charge of unlawful assembly and have been in police custody for the alleged involvement in the Boko chieftaincy disturbances. This follows a renewed chieftaincy clash in Boko last Monday, which led to the loss of lives and the destruction of property. Sporadic shootings were recorded in parts of the town prior to the clashes, following attempts to perform the final funeral rites for a chief who died about 41 years ago.
There was confusion among some staff of the Ghana Revenue Authority and some staff of 6 public institutions on one hand, and some encroachers regarding the ownership of a vast piece of land on Monday. Speaking to GBC News on the developments, the chairman of the Public Services Workers Union, Mr. Ken Chinebua Kodia, said the union will collaborate with the appropriate agencies to enforce a court ruling in favor of the staff of the GRA and their co-owners.
According to authorities of the Public Services Workers Union, the said land located at Mucho near Pram was acquired in 2012 by 400 staff of Ghana Revenue Authority, and it is jointly owned by the Tema General Hospital, the Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Shippers Authority and others. The encroachment of the property is said to have begun in 2014. According to Mr. Kodia, after a number of injunctions, the Tema High Court Land Division ruled in their favor in 2019, but the encroachers have defied the judgment and are still destroying their property. He said the institutions have waited patiently for due process and will no longer tolerate the impunity of the encroachers. We have more news coming up. Please stay with us.
Years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this, if I don't drink, I can't drive at all. And I love speedy rough. See, I can travel from here to Tamale in the north. Tired.
How many lives have you wasted?
20 pounds. I can't even count.
Is it normal?
Oh yes, it is normal. Taking life, it is part and parcel.
How do you think their families feel?
I don't know them, so I don't know.
What will you say to the people doing the devil's work like you?
They should keep up the good work. There is this joy hearing your passengers scream.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
I have 25 years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this, if I don't drink, I can't drive at all. And I love speedy rough. See, I can travel from here to Tamale in the north. Tired.
How many lives have you wasted?
20 pounds. I can't even count.
Is it normal?
Oh yes, it is normal. Taking life, it is part and parcel.
How do you think their families feel?
I don't know them, so I don't know.
What will you say to the people doing the devil's work like you?
They should keep up the good work. There is this joy.
Good to have you join us. Time now for the business segment, proudly brought to you by MTN and Whirlpool. I am Dorothy Ajamine. Spare parts dealers at Abossey-Okai have mixed expectations as 2022 gets off to a slow start. While some do not expect much of the first month, others want government to help ease the difficulties of the trading public. Others have concerns which are exclusive of the business they do at that busy part of the city.
Last year, because of COVID, and but this year, a good year for Ghanaians. Sika Kosro, Niama price, down. From now up to June, that's what I feel.
Apart from Christmas, na yedia wie, yasan bi school. Tatemi na na eye ma ometon books ne sane ma na ndi ho de beto ade because obia ye bi school a satemi nso year omo promotion so what ase enti no ye ma list enti no books ne ne ma ba just fast papers ne dey we say ye di bronya wie enti no ye no ye be di bronya no amanfo spend enti satemi no ade to ne kakra kakra ba ye nyina hobu say from this after this month
me being a student, I expect a lot. I think currently we are looking for accommodations in our school, that's the university, but it's like people are having a problem with the residential accommodation and stuff. So maybe if the government can do something about it, maybe build more halls, more hostels for the universities across the country, I think that would be okay because we are struggling with the accommodations and stuff. So if the government could make everything simple for us, I think that would be good. That was my expectation.
Yeah, because I catch a buying say, kakra emma youth go ye youth no. This time yen funny easy sir, especially young school ka end we bebre. Ye entrepreneur yen funny easy sir.
The Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority will begin the implementation of government's policy directive on the reversal of the reduction of values of imports on 43 selected items from today, January 4, 2022. However, the Association of Customs House Agents and the Importers and Exporters Association say the reversal of the benchmark values will increase the cost of living for Ghanaians in the days ahead. They spoke to our Tema regional correspondent, Michael Dewanu.
Ghana Revenue Authority issued a circular stating that today, the 4th of January 2022, benchmark values will be reversed. Already, the Ghana Union of Traders, GUTA, has given the strongest indication that prices will be going up, possibly by 100%. We are here at the Association of Customs House Agents Ghana, and one of the major freight services in Ghana, Integral Freight Services, to also find out from them what this means to them. Would it have any effect or impact on you now that clearing of stuff will be expensive? Does it mean importers would also be withholding or shying away from making sure that you guys clear?
Yeah, definitely. The very reasons why we decided to impose to bring out the discount, the same reasons still apply today. Of course, but I remember the government said that we want to stop smuggling because of these things. Smuggling would have to rear its head up again because if that same reasons applied in 2019, nothing has changed as at 2022. So smuggle would the temptation for people also to smuggle because the duties on these items will be very expensive. It will be expensive at least as compared to 2020, 2021.
This morning with the directives, we all know that it's today. So what we know is that if today someone is sending his person BOE, we have to reflect in the new policy that you are introducing. Is that not it? But if you have given someone values as at the first, and the person printed it out, and because of yesterday was holiday, he or she could not pay, and today he's there at the bank to pay, and you block the person, I think you are just trying to put on unnecessary pressure on the person.
Watching News Hour, and this is the business segment. Members of Teachers and Education Workers Union TEU are calling on the government to ensure that their members are paid the continuous professional development allowance in order to avoid the disruption of the 2022 academic calendar. TEU claims its colleagues in the teaching profession have been paid this allowance, but its members are yet to be paid.
What is a crime of the non-teaching staff that since the announcement of the payment of this continuous professional development allowance, the leadership of TEU have followed up to ensure that our members benefit from it. All efforts have not yielded any results. In making the payment of this allowance, professional teachers were paid 1,200 Ghana cedis, and non-professional teachers were also paid 800 Ghana cedis, thus leaving non-teaching staff completely out of the equation.
On the interbank markets, the local currency is trading at 6 cedis to the US dollar, to the pound sterling at 8 cedis 13 pesos, and the euro at 6 cedis 83 pesos. Up next are the figures and also the prices of gold, cocoa, and light crude from the Commodity Board. Business segment proudly brought to you by MTN and Whirlpool. Coming up is the energy segment. Please don't go away.
Hello, ma'am. So you've applied for the devil's work?
Oh, yes. It's such an easy job, you know. I have passion for it.
Tell us more.
I have a tight schedule. So to save time, I try to answer my calls and messages while driving.
Is it not risky?
Oh, Masa, listen. 120 kilometers per hour. On a 50 kilometers per hour road, Grammy, I do. And small talking on the phone while driving, you say it is risky. It is not.
But you and your kids are not strapped in.
I know. These children, they are tough. Don't mind the body.
So how do you feel about yourself?
I feel proud. I love my job.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Samejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
You're welcome to the energy segment. Fuel prices at the pumps have increased slightly by 18 pesos per litre. This is attributed to the depreciation of the cedi to the dollar and a surge in fuel prices on the international commodities market due to the Omicron variant.
Oil marketing companies, OMCs, have begun increasing fuel prices slightly at the pump. According to energy think tank Institute for Energy Security, fuel prices will go up by 18 pesos per litre, representing a 2.8 percentage point surge. It attributed this to the depreciation of the cedi, among others, as the reasons for the price hike. Already, Total Petroleum has taken the lead by increasing fuel prices at its service stations. It is now selling a litre of diesel and petrol at 6 cedis 85 pesos and 6 cedis 80 pesos, representing more than a 3% hike from the previous price. Mr. Fritz Moses is a research analyst with the Institute of Energy Security.
As you have all seen at some of the filling stations or the various OMCs around, prices are going to increase by some 18 pesos in some few filling stations across the country. But we expect that majority of the filling stations or the OMCs that we have in this country are going to also increase their prices to reflect what has happened on the international market, and also, of course, the increment in the depreciation of the local cedi. This increment has been on the international market has been as a result of the familiarity that we have become with the Omicron variant. What we expect going forward is that with the increment that we are seeing on the international market, which has risen on average term from about $72 per barrel to about to close $76 per barrel, we'll expect that same increment to persist till the end of January.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana, COPEC, has already predicted some 6 cedis 8 pesos increase in fuel prices, partly due to the Omicron variant. COPEC is projecting fuel prices may go up by about 20 pesos in this pricing window.
To diversify and expand its operations in 2022, the Volta River Authority, VRA, will adopt clean energy such as solar, wind and biomass in its generation mix. The move is to reduce carbon emissions. Deputy Chief Executive of VRA in charge of operations and engineering, Emmanuel Dankwa Osafo, said the authority will fully roll out its digitization agenda by introducing artificial intelligence in the operations.
The landscape of power generation has made it necessary for the authority to be digitally and technologically efficient to stay competitive going into the future. From next year, we will fully embrace digitalization, which will be the major enabler of our business as we prepare ourselves for the advent of the Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, etc. We recognize that digitalization will compel us to be more efficient and therefore remain competitive. The authority, through technology, is seeking to diversify and expand its operations to adopt clean, cost-efficient sources of energy such as solar, wind and biomass. Digitalization will therefore facilitate the integration of these variable sources of energy with conventional generation sources to deliver a cleaner energy mix for a more efficient operation and effective monitoring and maintenance of our generation assets. I urge each of us to continue to contribute towards enhancing productivity and cost reduction.
That's it for Energy News.
Hearing your passages scream.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
I have 25 years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this, if I don't drink, I can't drive at all. And I love speedy rough. See, I can travel from here to Tamale in the north. Tired.
How many lives have you wasted?
20 pounds. I can't even count.
Is it normal?
Oh yes, it is normal. Taking life, it is part and parcel.
How do you think their families feel?
I don't know them, so I don't know.
What will you say to the people doing the devil's work like you?
You see, they should keep up the good work. There is this joy hearing your passages scream.
Are you sure you are not the devil?
Make you not do Abonsamejuma. Stay alive. This Stay Alive campaign is brought to you by the National Road Safety Authority.
I have 25 years experience.
Tell us more about this experience.
Me like this.
Segment of the news is brought to you by Lufat from Tobinco. Ghana has recorded 1,067 new COVID-19 cases, bringing the country's current active case count to 12,422. Out of this number, 23 and 4 persons are in severe and critical conditions, respectively. As of December 1, 2021, the country's active cases were 692, but increased sharply during the Yuletide to 8,554 by December 28, 2021. The Greater Accra region leads the chart with new infections. The region is followed by Ashanti region. The Ghana Health Service had earlier admitted that the country had entered its fourth wave of COVID-19. The General Secretary of the Ghana Medical Association, Dr. Titus Bayu, urged unvaccinated Ghanaians to take the jab, adding the vaccines help to prevent a critical and severe condition of the disease.
A lot of doctors have gotten infected, but they've all been vaccinated. A lot of nurses have been infected and they've already been vaccinated. The good thing is that because they've been vaccinated, they get the infection, they show some symptoms and signs, but we are not getting people being admitted into the ICUs among those who have been vaccinated. If they are at all, it's very few. We are not getting a lot of them having critical to severe illness. They are recovering on their own. A reason why anybody should try and take the vaccine. Those who are following various conspiracy theories must shift their position by now, so that as the cases go up, we still will not have a lot of deaths because a lot of people are vaccinated.
The program's manager for the expanded program on immunization under the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kwame Amponsa-Chianu, says the focus of the Ghana Health Service is to vaccinate a sizable number of population within the shortest possible time, irrespective of the targets set by international bodies, reacting to a report by the WHO which indicates that only 7 African countries met a target of vaccinating at least 40% of their population by December 2021. Ghana was missing the target. Dr. Amponsa-Chianu said the Ghana Health Service currently has more than 13 million vaccines in stock for distribution, while admitting concerns about the short lifespan of some vaccines.
For us, our target is to get all our people immunized or vaccinated as much as possible. So that's what we are still aiming at, irrespective of whichever targets are set by whichever benchmarks. We still think that the entirety of the population that is eligible should get vaccinated. And so that's what we are still working towards. Well, we bought some vaccines that have what we call very short shelf lives. Remember, because we don't, first of all, we don't produce vaccines and we rely, just like any other country, relying on the key manufacturers. So we still have vaccines in stock. We have about almost 13 million doses, a little over 13 million doses, which we are still distributing and deploying. As of the end of last year, we had received about 24 million doses, half of them within the last 3 weeks.
The health segment of the news was brought to you by Lufat from Tobinco. The news continues.